Hello guys, this is Fridays18 here, and today we're going to be going over my new mod, Sanguine Craft. This is a vampire-inspired mod, but there are lots of stuff inside of here. There's tons of content. Built this whole little set. It's going to be some fun stuff to go through, but there's even more. I just, didn't want to turn this into too long of a video. First off, we're going to start with the vampire ritual. I feel this is obviously a pretty important part to show off, given it's a vampire mod. So you're going to craft one of these guys. And this item can be used for a few different things, but the main part is either becoming a vampire or a dampire, which is half vampire, half human, which has some stuff to it. But basically, you come over here. This is a ritual block. You'll have to build a certain ritual around it. So for this one, it requires black candles on all of its diagonal sides, and then red carpet on the other sides. You will right-click the block with this. And then you'll get a disease. It'll be called, I believe, Crimson Desire, something like that. I'm sorry, I just added it. So I'm a little bit rusty on that part of it. But you'll do that. You'll get the disease. And while you have the disease, you will kill anything. I send the thrall here, just as an example. But you'll kill anything within a certain amount of time after contracting the disease. And after that, you'll start your process as a vampire. And now that takes us over here. As a vampire, there'll be tons of stuff that you entail. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this too long of a video. There's going to be an overview. So briefly, what vampires can do, all of these barrels have abilities in them I'm about to show off, but they also have, every vampire has things like life steal on hits, weakness to sunlight, which can be counteracted wearing a hat, all sorts of stuff. But starting off with the fledglings, you get drink blood. Essentially, you can drink the blood of anything of low health. This will, over time, increase your vampire powers. So you'll get to go through the different ranks. There's 7 in total currently, from just fledgling to Moonlord Vampire. They all have their own special abilities and passives and all that stuff. At a point, you won't be weak to sunlight anymore, things like that. Additionally, drinking blood not only will give you direct, rank up potential over time. It will take a little while, but it'll get there over time. But also, it will slowly increase a bonus meter, and that bonus meter will increase all your other moves alongside it. So it's really good to try and knock out as many people as you can with that. Being a vampire, you get there pretty fast from becoming a fledgling. And you'll get 2 things, blood siphon and vampire form. You can use this to steal health, and you can use this to go into your vampire form. While in your vampire form, initially you can only use it at night, but as you progress, you'll be able to do it at any stage. But it'll get stronger and stronger and stronger until eventually you can do stuff like fly within and all that. Additionally, it is bonus strong on full moons. Blooded vampire, you get hypnotic gaze, shadow step, mist form, and bat transformation. These are all pretty fun. I want to show this one off just because it's a pretty fun one. You get to turn into a little bat, fly around a little bit. Yeah, so obviously that's not the best move in the game or anything, but it's a fun one. And there's all these different things. So once you get to the blooded vampire, you start getting some actual good moves. Like this will stun people. This will do some short range teleportation, which it has much lower cooldown at night and will be very good at night. Mist form had its own benefits. Bat transformation has benefits, of course. Whereas over here, you're getting very simple stuff. Like this will scale over time. This will scale over time, and this is going to be your main form for upgrading everything. Now, once you become a Night Stalker, you get Blood Aura. This will drain the life force and blood of those around you, so it's a big lifesteal move. Blood Alchemy, you can use this in the same way of this, where you can use it on people when they're at low health, and it will give you blood. Now, blood can be used for a lot of different crafting stuff, which I'll show a little bit later on, but also it can just be drinking, and it'll satiate your bloodlust, which is good for, there's blood hunger in this game, and the longer you go without eating something or drinking blood, the more you'll, be affected by it. So the more you can get of that, the better. And this is a way for you to, A, obviously crafting, but B, just take some of that with you. So if you have a farm of, creatures like thralls, that you'll be able to harvest them for their blood and use it later on when you need it. Over here, you get Bloodblade Summon. You can use that harvested blood to turn into a very strong sword. Dark Aura, it's an AoE blind and stunning. Vampirism Bite is a pretty interesting one. If you right-click it, you can turn villagers into thralls. Thralls won't move around. They're pretty much just there to be eaten. And they also have a ton of custom dialogue. It's like 13 custom dialogues, I think. So that's pretty fun too. Plays into the aesthetic a bit. And then also you can transform things like tame creatures and players into, you know, vampires, which is pretty cool. You can turn a dog into a hellhound, pretty much. Things like that. You can turn a player into a vampire, etc., etc. So yeah, that's an exciting one. Once you get to Night Lord, you're gonna start seeing, you know, there's a lot more abilities over here that are pretty good. Mark of Dominance. This is pretty OP. Basically, when you put it on someone when they're within range of you, they'll just constantly be giving you their life. So it's a pretty good lifesteal move. Lifeblood Assault. It's a giant AoE move that does a lot of damage, but it costs half your health. Relocation, you can set a point and then shift click, or you can shift click to set a point and then normal click it to teleport back to it. Blood Spear, you can use blood that you stole before to shoot a spear out. Thrall Ritual, you can kill a low health enemy and turn them into a thrall who will help you in combat, which will be pretty fun. Over here, we got Dark Realm. Pretty much everything around you will be at low enough health that things like Drink Blood, or where's that at? It's over here. Yeah, Blood Alchemy. It'll work immediately, so you don't have to get them low. So this will be really good for things like if you have a giant animal farm and you just want to go through and harvest them all for their blood, you can do that pretty easily. Shadow Dominion, you can attack people with Shadow Tentacles. And Blood Pact, even your enemy will share damage for a short amount of time. Now there is a 8th class coming, or 8 rank coming, but that's not here yet. This is a very, this mod's still in alpha, so. Now there are 2 commands that are pretty important. First, set vampire level. This is of course going to be very good in single player or for multiplayer servers. It just sets the level and gives them the moves that they need. Check vampire status. That is a move that anybody can use. It's not, you know, delegated to admins. And it's pretty helpful because it'll tell you how many blood points you have, which is basically if you drink someone's blood, you get blood points from it. If you drink the blood of like a player, you get more blood points. Like villager, more blood points, more than like a chicken or something like that. So you can check that out on the Discord. It explains, you know, how many blood points to get to each new rank, so that can be helpful. Additionally, like your last drank blood timer can help too. Things like that. Those are the 2 commands right now. We got the Vampire Hunter gear. Like I said, there's a few classes in this game. We've covered the Vampire. Now, the Vampire Hunters, they don't get a form or anything, but they do get a lot of stuff to work with here. Just offer it. They have 4 melee weapons. Obviously, the best one is the Blessed Blade. These all seem pretty low in terms of attack to image across, you know, the vampires, which I just went over, be pretty OP, especially like the higher level ones. But all these do bonus damage to vampires and also to werewolves if they're silver. Now, the gun can be used to shoot 2 types of bullets, silver and wood. Wood will do less damage, silver will do more, but wood's also much easier to craft. Blessed Amulet and Cross, both of these will negate certain vampire moves. Vampire Compass, the compass will start glowing if there's a vampire in your area. Vampirism Cure, cures you of vampirism. Garlic, I'm going to show this off real quick. This is a fun one. So if you plant it like this, then if a vampire walks on it, they will take a large amount of damage and start getting poisoned. So that could just be, you know, good for setting up around houses and stuff. So it's an exciting one, but also not particularly special. And silver is, you know, used to make this. Additionally, another thing to make most things in this mod is going to be this, Raven Shade. It is a rare flower, and it is how you will make a lot of stuff, from rituals to, you know, weapons like this. It's pretty much the main flower in this game for doing most everything. Now if we go over here, you can see there's also vampire gear made of blood. All of these are made out of blood, so Demon Blade, Demon Scythe, Deep Blood Shield. Of course, these don't do bonus damage to anything, so they, you know, they have pretty high attacks. And then also, of course, it requires actually taking blood from people. It's not just, you know, crafting it. So, you know, they do things like lifesteal and stuff like that. This one, Devil's Edge, is really good, but you have to get it from a boss. And then Blood Soup will, you know, refill your hunger and health that you made out of blood. Go to day real quick. Now over here you have the Ghost Ritual. So using this and a Ghost Ritual item, you can either become a ghost, go out of your ghost form, or upgrade your ghost level. Ghost Rituals are kind of hard to craft, which is why it only takes 1 to, you know, increase or, you know, lose it. So it just takes some cyan candles, like I said, Raven Shade, big part of this mod, and then some these guys, and you surround it with that in this order, and you can do it. Just right click it, and now explaining the different levels. There's like Ghost, Wraith, and Phantom Lord. Let me set this back real quick. There we go. Okay, so It works. It works. So this guy, these two guys, they're weak in the sun, just like vampires. Once you get up to the Phantom Lord, you won't be. Um, these guys don't have any abilities right now, but they do get much stronger with time. So as a ghost, you're always going to be invisible, but you'll have a glowing effect. Once you get over here, if you hold crouch, you'll be able to go completely invisible. Things like that, strength, speed, whatever. Once you get up to Phantom Lord, you are very, very strong. But like I said, it takes 3 of these guys, and these guys can be kind of hard to craft. Now on to just what I couldn't cover in this video. Would have been too long. Like I said, Dampiers. These are going to be, or not going to be, these are in the game as half vampire, half humans. Basically, it's kind of, you don't get crazy much out of it, but you get the lifesteal M1s, not to the same extent, but you still get them. You're stronger at night, stuff like that. It's just a lesser version of a vampire, but you also don't really get the weaknesses as much, and you're not, like, you don't have the weakness like silver and stuff like that the same way, which is really nice. So it can be a fun little mixed ground. Lycan, these are going to be the werewolves. Now, the werewolves, the way they work right now, here's a Lycan ritual. You can, all the ways to do all this stuff is on Discord, but the Lycans, werewolves, at night, basically, they get some bonuses, but during a full moon, they become a whole new form. They become one of the strongest forms in the game. Every attack they do deals insane damage to vampires, like I think it's like 20 damage to vampires, and then if they're not a vampire, it's like 10 damage, like just bonus on top of everything else. Plus they get strength and everything like that. So using an iron sword with like strength 5 and plus 10 damage, plus 20 to vampires, it's a very strong form, not to mention all the other effects it gets. That's really good. Loads of custom blocks. We got a few of these guys right here. So Blood Diamond, this will make you go faster and give you fire resistance. So it can be good between, moving between structures if you're a vampire and it's the sunlight's out. Because if you have fire resistance, you also don't take damage from the sun. There's a lot of ways around it, admittedly. It's easy to get out of, but it does take a little bit. I didn't want the early game to be too easy. For stone, just ignited stone. A lot of these are just building blocks, like dark stone, dark wood, shadow stone, blood wood. Although this one is a bit of a flex, because it actually requires blood to make. So that's kind of, you see a player with that can be kind of scary. But now the ones that aren't just cosmetic, you got the gore bale. This is made out of a bunch of blood, and you can eat it, and it will give you bite points, like I was talking about earlier. But it'll also just, give you, it'll satiate your hunger. So it can be good to keep some of these guys around, because all it takes is right-clicking it, and you're all good. If you were a vampire, you would have gotten a message there, but we didn't do the ritual. And then, oh yeah, some of the other functional blocks. You already saw the ritual caster. You surround this guy with different stuff. Works. Blood lamp. This is just like a redstone lamp. It emits light. All the light sources that I have, so like the blood altar emits some light, the ritual caster, but the main light sources like curse stone, blood lamp, stuff like that, still emit a faint light. It's just that some mobs won't spawn, so you still have your faint little edgy vampire house. But you'll still, no monsters or anything, you'll be able to see, so it's nice. And the blood altar is pretty cool. If you right click this, it'll satiate your blood, and oh yeah, Crimson Hunger, you can see it right here. So also, if you drink from it and you are a vampire, your bloodlust gets satiated. If you're not a vampire, however, it'll give you the Crimson Hunger effect, so this can be good for initiating people, assuming biting and stuff is off the table, because biting will just do the same thing, it'll give them Crimson Hunger, so it's not like you're like auto-changing them. But, ooh, I don't even, oh, I didn't click the sign. But if I were to click this and then run over here, do this, and then kill this guy, as you can see, I'm now a vampire, and I'm burning the sunlight. I did think about implementing sparkling. I thought that would have been funny. But as you can see, if you throw on a helmet, yeah, you're all good. These also aren't official armors, which is why I'm not showing it off. These are just placeholders, but there is blood armor and silver armor. But yeah, now I'm a vampire. Yeah. But that's what you can see in this, and of course when you become a vampire you get to drink blood. Kind of need that for everything else. But yeah, that's what the blood altar does. That's pretty helpful. Garlic and Raven Shade, I went over those. Those are the two current plants in the game. Garlic is of course for repelling vampires. Raven Shade is for, pretty much everything you use to craft all these weapons. Not all of them, just these guys. All this stuff is pretty easy. Like the stake is really easy to craft. Gun's really easy to craft. But stuff like the cure, the compass, the blessed amulet, vampire ritual, ghost ritual, and Lycan ritual, a lot of these blocks that are like, useful like ritual caster and stuff. Well, actually, I think Ritual Caster is easy to make, but some of the stuff you need to do, work with it, you need Raven Shade for. So that's where that comes in. And then bosses and hostile enemies. As of right now, there are only 3 bosses. Can't summon them. I don't think they're over here. No, they're not. But there's 3 bosses over here. You can summon them using the ritual stuff. You surround them with different types of candles. That's all on the Discord. But these guys will spawn at night. And yeah, they're just rabid vampires. And they're not very strong. Like, yeah, they're not particularly strong. This does have, well, you can't see it, but it had a sharpness 5, which is now gone. But yeah, I mean, they're not particularly strong. They don't do like some crazy amount of damage. But, you know, they're still there, and it should make, you know, nighttime more exciting. And just encourage a little bit more, you know, being scared of the night kind of thing. Yeah, so there's, of course, a lot to show in this mod. There's a lot that I didn't go over. I didn't really want to, you know, keep this video too long. But yeah, that's just a basic overview. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, see you guys later. Peace.